Happy Halloween, citizens, and welcome to my top 5 scariest enemies in gaming list. Now, compared to other lists, my selections were not the most unique. However, all of these enemies I selected from personal experience with them. They gave me such a visceral sense of dread whenever I encountered them, or they absolutely scarred my fragile mind when I first encountered them. So, I hope you enjoy, and if you have any differing opinions, go ahead and leave a comment below. And without further ado, let us begin. At number 5, we have the Hunters from the Resident Evil series. When you finally encounter them in the first game, you've already become used to the slow, shambling zombies, so seeing these lightning-quick predators really catches you off your guard. After your first encounter with them, likely ending in you being eviscerated by the way, you go through rooms very carefully afterwards, shotgun ready for the second you have to react when they come charging down the hallway. They always succeed at making you feel like prey by triggering your fight or flight response, and for that, they deserve a spot on this list. Few enemies match the ferocity of the Deathclaws in the wastelands of Fallout. Meeting these enemies without heavy armor and powerful weaponry is a death sentence, as they'll easily rip through you with their claws. If one wasn't bad enough, they tend to travel in packs, and you cannot outrun them. They are an example of Pavlovian conditioning at its finest, since whenever you see one, your body instantly tenses. There is one other enemy that has an equivalent effect on you too, and that is the Cazador of the Mojave Wasteland. Like Deathclaws, they'll likely see you first, and a swarm of them will descend upon you in an instant. You will inevitably get stung when you unwittingly stumble on one of their nests, and even if you kill all of them, their venom will quickly kill you after the fight. While Fallout is not a horror game, the sheer fear and certainty of death associated with these enemies gives them the number 4 spot. Imagine, if you will, that you are a child playing through The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for the first time. You're in the Forest Temple, which is a surprisingly creepy place compared to the previous sections of the game. You go through a twisted hallway into a room, and then your companion Navi tells you to watch out for the shadows of the monsters hanging on the ceiling. You wait a bit, and start to see your shadow getting bigger and bigger, along with a sound of impending doom. You freeze, and you don't know what to do, and before you know it, you see giant, rotten fingers completely close around Link's head, dragging him up to the ceiling while he screams in terror. That was my first experience with the Wall Masters. While it is not a scary enemy when you know what it is, this first encounter traumatized me for years, and I could not play the Ocarina of Time again for many years afterward. Metroids are depicted as the most dangerous life form in the series, and for good reason. They come in all shapes and sizes, but what stays constant about them is the guarantee of a gruesome death if they latch onto you. In Metroid Prime, you hear rumors of what these creatures can do, how they suck the life energy from their victims completely, leaving only the dead shell of their meal remaining. Then, when you assault the space pirate base in Phendrana Drifts, you finally see them just floating in glass containment tubes. What you read about them mixes with their naturally unsettling alien appearance, and you can only take solace in the fact that they are kept behind glass walls. However, as you go through the base, they get more and more agitated, and then eventually, one escapes. You fire at it, but your weapons don't seem to do anything. Finally, the Metroid readies itself to charge, and all you see are its talons and disgusting mouth before it latches on to your face, shrieking the entire time. If you manage to survive, you are rewarded with a base-wide blackout, with all of the Metroids escaping, now able to hunt their prey in the cover of darkness. This event solidified my absolute terror of them, and I can scarcely play a first-person Metroid game now without the constant fear of a Metroid latching onto my face at any moment. The build-up for my number 1 scariest enemy is perfect. In the latter third of Resident Evil 4, you go to an island with a decrepit, filthy laboratory on it. As you go through the lab, you eventually reach an operating room, and through the window you see what looks like an elongated human corpse, more alien than human now. Quickly casting your gaze away from the abomination, you enter an adjacent room, finding a document describing these experiments for embedding the Las Plagas parasite directly into a host nervous system. The successful subjects, now called regenerators, gained an incredible ability to recover any damage inflicted to them, even complete severing of the limbs and head. In other words, you now know of an enemy that you are powerless to defeat. Right after finishing the document, you hear the door to the operating room open, and you know exactly what's coming. So you wait for a few agonizing moments, readying whatever weapons you have to slow the creature down. When the door finally opens, your brain screams that everything is wrong. The arms are too long, the creature's gait is twitchy and it doesn't move right, the teeth are ginormous, the mere sight of this thing is perfectly unsettling, and you soon learn exactly how futile your attacks are against it. Even if you take out its legs, it quickly slithers along the ground like a snake and jumps up to take a bite out of your neck. Think you're far enough away from it? Well, its limbs can stretch out and bring you right into its gaping maw. The build-up to this enemy, knowing that it's futile to fight, its completely unsettling appearance, and its ability to constantly pursue you make this my #1 most terrifying enemy. Now, the Regenerator's spike-laden cousin, the Iron Maiden, may be considered by others to be scarier, but the Regenerator had the build-up and a more horrifying face to push it over the top for me. And with all of that said, thanks for watching, citizens. Let me know your own scariest enemy in the comments. And this has been President Vochelli, signing off.